Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am blasting back to February. I realized I did not do a February recap of my reading bullet journal, so I wanted to share all my highlights and kind of my format so far of how things look, how my spreads look for the first 2 months of 2024. So you will see a lot of entries well into March, since it is the middle of March right now, but I'll kind of point out where the information is for February. So here's where I started with log 21, and then this continuing my table of contents, I went to 41. And with my table of contents, I put the month, title, author, and my rating. These higher numbers are my continuous logs since I started journaling for the first time. So I ended with 41 books read. I read 20 in February, and then this 445 is the number of how many books I've logged up to that point. So that was my 445th log. And then you're seeing some things so far for how I have been reading in March. Here is my reading tracker for how I read it, whether it was a physical, audio, or ebook format. Again, my numbers for February are 21 to 41, so I color those in with the type of format I've read. Here is my bookshelf. Again, if it's anything over 41, that is a book read in March, but I highlight these as I go, and this is a continuous color log throughout my whole journal to keep it consistent. So later I'll show you the same color format again of the dates I finished a book. Here's my yearly stats. I read 21 books in February, 9 physical, 5 on my Kindle. I listened to 7 on audiobook. I read all 29 days in February. I had 3 5-star reads, and then my library rentals, I had 2 books that I read, and I had 7 audiobooks. Here's my monthly stats. I had 3 5-stars, 9 4-stars, 6 3-stars, 1 2-star, and 2 1-star reads. Here is my 5-star spread. If there is a 5-star coming, I will always put it on a little sticky note so that way I know to print it off. But here are all my 5 stars that I read. These 5 are my first 5 stars in January, and then I added these 3 here in February. If I read any 5 stars for March, I'll add them, and then I will print them here. Here's my book of the month club book choices. In February it was The Ready or Not. I really liked it. I gave it 4 stars. And then here are the dates I finished a book, and this is where the continuous color log comes into play. It's the same colors here as my bookshelf that I showed you guys. Again, just like trying to keep it consistent the best way I can. It's also really satisfying. So again, same color coding here. So I really like going in and finishing whatever date I finished a book to also add that color code in. You can see the dark purples are really the ones that I finished in 5 stars. Yellow stands out too, and those are my 1 stars. Here's my continuous ARCs. I also add in the month, the format, the title, the publisher that I received it from, rating, and how much I saved. Here's my library. Oh, you'll hear Piper coming down. You'll see my library savings of the month of March. I put the title, format, and the price that I just Google, either on Amazon or audiobook. Here's my growth in February. And then there was January's, and here comes February's. So these are all the books I read. If you're interested in learning about how I print these little covers off, I do have a video on my channel you can take a look at to see how I print my tiny book covers. But I read 21 books, 9 physical, 7 audio, and 5 on my Kindle, a total of 41 of the year so far. I read an exact number of 5,000 pages and totaled 9,683 pages in total so far. In the month of February, I listened to an audiobook for multiple audiobooks for a total of 76 hours and 43 minutes. I read 29 days in February, totaling 60 days so far in the year. My favorite read was Darling Girls. It was an ARC and I loved it. And the one that I did not enjoy at all in February, unfortunately, was The Lost Apothecary. My shortest read was The Honey Don't List at 303 pages, and my longest read in February was One Day with 435 pages. Yes, One Day is also the TV series on Netflix. So next is going to be my month of March. I already started using some of my stats here for pages, hours, and minutes, so that way it helps here. So that way it doesn't take as long, so I always keep a sticky there. And then for February, I also included the continued number of how many books I've read in the year, and then the title, and then I put my own little icons next to it, whether it's an audiobook, an ARC, Kindle, sometimes if they're in a series, and then this was a P-ARC, so a physical ARC that I finished up. Now, if you don't want to look for spoilers, just be careful, don't zoom in, but then this is what it looks like when it's finished. I give the rating. I also give what happens, and I include the ending. That's how I got started with journaling, is because I just read so many books, and I would always forget how it ended. So when I came across and set this up, this was the next page for my month start. So if I would read more, I would just take the extra pages from the back of the journal, cut them down to size, and then just use tape. That way I can continue working on it. I finish those up, and then I even add like another half one in, just so that way I'm ready for the next month. Again, I already read a ton in March. Guys, this is almost like towards the end of March. I think today's like March 20th. So that's why you're seeing a lot of March things. Just to kind of show you too, if I don't want to ruin like my second spread, I always write my reads down on another Post-it note. So then when I'm done with the month of March, I can kind of line up my highlighted like rows of how I want to. And then I already started in March. So that is my February spread. If you guys like this video, be sure to like and subscribe and ring the bell for Brill Books. Thanks guys. Take care and happy reading.